What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another replay review. Today, super high level Team Slayer, about as high as it gets, man. Everybody in here is Onyx or Champion. And yes, there actually is BBKDRAGOON, the pro from Epsilon Esports, and I think he was on Western Wolves as well, is in this match. But we're going to be hanging out with Fishy Eats. So Fish has always been somebody who's been very kind to my channel over the years, super supportive, nice member of the community, and just absolutely goes so hard this game. And I'm doing this replay in celebration of the HCS event that was this, like, last couple of days. I won't spoil any of the results, but my goodness, what, ooh, aggressive. Careful, they've got snipes there, man. Poking the angle again. This last weekend was the HCS Pro League NA Finals. I hope you guys got to watch some great Twitch numbers, but even better was just some fantastic play. There's nothing more inspiring than watching some rock-solid gameplay from pro players to get you inspired. Okay, so let's check this situation out here before I move any further. As I bump the B button here. They fixed wireframes, by the way, which is very cool. You can now see the colors of the wireframes. The fast-forward bug is still going, but... So we have a guy flanking from Plaza right now. And Fish, I think, sort of suspects that they are spawning down in the tram. So we'll see if he picks up on this. Look at the radar. Look at the fast reaction time. Here's the shots. And is he actually going to get the double? He gets the double. That's a huge conversion when you're getting flanked like that. So fantastic reaction time. Looking at the radar. Being sneaky because he had the awareness to know that he's probably close to where they're spawning. And then made the thrust 180 turnaround using the SMG. Just fantastic decision making in that situation. Watching the Pro League this last weekend, and I've also been playing a lot more Halo 5 lately. I probably put in about 40 games the last week. So, feeling real good, getting my shot back. Nice, good play. Guy trying to get the jump down. Didn't work, or jump back ninja, however you want to say it. Now, I want you to look at the setup that's going down here. So, this weekend, you probably saw mostly strongholds being played on Plaza, in which their goal was to always hold top yellow and to force spawn back in tram and to force people from Plaza. That way they could control the nest and they could control the bottom mid very easily. In Team Slayer, it's a little bit more dynamic than that, and the reason I think this is a solo queue match is just because the red team never really gets a full-on setup. They're just sort of roaming. But if you were to have a setup on Plaza, holding top yellow is a big portion of it, and being able to rotate from Plaza into top yellow is really important. Learning the stabilized jump from here up to here, you'll notice that it's just completely standard for pro players to be able to do that. That's something, if you're getting into the higher level of gameplay for Plaza, you're going to want to be able to hit that. Oh my gosh! Nading his teammates super hard there with the good old tangerine. Okay, looking back at... Now, look at that. Look at that prediction. Fishy is very aware of what's going on this map. He sees that a kill goes down, but he also sees he's got a teammate back over at Cinema. So, what does he do? He pre-nades over here to either block a spawn or to damage somebody who's coming right out of spawn. It just shows you a lot of map awareness. He's very comfortable with Plaza. He's played this enough to get a decent idea of where the enemy might spawn. Putting some nice shots in. That nade might splash his teammate. It did splash his teammate there a little bit. So second nade in a row where you've splashed your teammate. Maybe a little bit more cautious there with the nades, Mr. Fishy. Putting some good shots in, but 3 guys with sightline on you. Not much you can do in BBKD with the snipe. Blinks you right out. So we'll keep going here. I'll put the VOD in the description below for the HCS Pro League event this past weekend. It's so worthwhile to watch. You know, something that I found really interesting that... Oh, here. We might actually see it right here. Fishy going in, spraying down with the AR. Oh, getting cross-shotted. He's definitely getting called out or somebody saw it. Sprints away. Gets the recover. Picks up the SMG. Look how calm and smooth he is. Is he going to pull the SMG? No, wow. Lands the shots that he needs to exactly. Gets the melee and finishes the kill. Is he going to go for the SMG? There it is. Look at this. Now, that guy has overshield, so there's not a whole lot he can do, but he's getting a ton of damage in. Is his teammate going to be able to take him out? And the teammate is. That's a really strong play right there. Just look at the decision-making going on here. Lands the perfect amount of shots with the Magnum. Goes in for the melee kill. Doesn't freak out when he's being pressured by the guy who's got the overshield. In fact, just uses that SMG in the close range where it's meant to be used. Did miss the pineapple. I guess tangerine. That's my new word for splinters. I'm going to be calling them, as The Sims does, the tangerines. So you do miss the awesome nade right there. I think that thing is something not to miss out on. but so calm and collected, making the right decision when under pressure, the sign of an experienced player. So red team already taking the momentum pretty heavily in this match. We've not seen Fishy go for OS or Sniper just yet, and the Hydra has been relatively unused this game, which is something that I would definitely expect to see more use. I think the Hydra after buff is very good as long as the opponent isn't being too evasive. Is he going to get this? Wow, dude. I will say there's a good chance you die there if the blue player connected one more shot, but good job staying cool. All right, finishes off the kill with his teammate. Going to push back into the Plaza. Notice the main spawn down at Tram. Fish is very aware of it, and you guys can be too the more that you play. Using the cover of the tree very well to gunfight. Unfortunately, basically does his thrust strafe in the same direction his strafe was going. So you'll notice too, at higher level gameplay, especially in HCS, at the end of their gunfights, these guys are almost always jump thrusting. I think Proximity has a video about it, actually, that does a great job of explaining it. But they jump thrust at the end of their little juke strafe cycle to try and throw off the last shot. And oftentimes you get to pick any direction that you want, whether that's up, down, left, right. But Fishy was already strafing to the left and did a ground thrust even further to the left, which makes life a little bit easier for the opponent to hit. Had you sort of jump thrusted back right, maybe towards the tree again, that might have kept you alive. I know we're probably getting into the nitty-gritty here, and that's, you know, techniques that are even beyond most players. So let's continue on here. There we go. Ooh. Nice shots, dude. Being able to use the Magnum at any distance, this is somebody who's been practiced. I also love the shotgun shells. It reminds me of that piece of Reach armor that I worked very hard to get once you had those shotgun shells. Sort of a wasted nade, but I think he was doing it in prediction of the Plaza spawn. Walking out slowly here. I'm not positive what the crouch walk here is for. I could speculate that perhaps he thinks because blue team has cinema control, they might have sniper rifle control, and maybe by sneaking out here, there's a better chance. Or maybe he thinks there's somebody top yellow. I don't really know. So, Fish, if you're watching, let me know why you were crouch walking right there. Wow. Nicely done, man. Cool little jump, too, up there. Would have been cooler without the clamber, but pretty close. Here's his teammate being fired on. Is going to go and help. And then looks again on the floor. Is he going to get that kill? No, he's just going to back away. Let his teammate clean it up, which he does. Very nicely done. And now supporting his teammate who has the sniper rifle. Picks up the SMG. Wow. Just rock solid Magnum. Picks up the BR. Now, interestingly enough, he just swapped back over Magnum BR combo. The thing that I was mentioning during HCS this weekend is there was a lot more auto rifle use than what I'm used to, or assault rifle. You guys can tell I play Destiny too much. I'm sorry. A lot more AR use. Oh, getting crushed from the jump over there, man. That's okay. That can happen. A lot of pros using the AR when it's up close and personal. A lot of pros using the AR. Because I think I read on Reddit somewhere that a perfect kill with the Magnum comes down to almost the same timing as a perfect fired AR. I don't really know that, but just the amount of pros comfortable using it and understanding it's quite the power weapon. Going in there for the last shot. What a play. Oh, a little cheeky teabag there. Okay, Fishy. All right. You went off. I get it. Let's look at the score here. 14-5. Red team just dominating that match. You know, if I were to take a gander at what happened, it just snowball. Snowball is the name of the game when it comes to Team Slayer here. So we just saw better map control from the red team, in my opinion. And although Fishy wasn't that active in setting up for Overshield or Sniper, and in fact, the Hydra just whole game, you know, maybe there's a reason why it was left alone, but pick that bad boy up. It's still a power weapon, and I still think you can eke out a couple of easy kills with it. But just great map control, solid slang, and overall, I felt pretty strong map prediction. And although we didn't see it too terribly much in this match, like I was saying, the AR is such a powerful tool, and when you're watching pro-level gameplay on the tight engagements, those pros have no problem whipping it out and using the AR. Forget the stigma that was there with previous Halos, oh, unskilled weapon. It's a solid gun, and it's not something that you should ditch from your kit right away. I don't want to overanalyze this gameplay because it definitely seems just like a run-of-the-mill pub match. People weren't calling out, I don't think, too much, and setups weren't going down too terribly often. So I don't want to get too, critical of it, but what I would say is careful with those friendly fire nades. Work on setting up for the OS a bit more. I noticed that oftentimes when you were controlling top yellow or working on having some form of map control from cinema, you weren't really looking at the OS. The Hydra went untouched and you never were there to help the teammates pick up the sniper rifle. Now, you could argue the fact that since you're slaying and occupying a different role on a different part of the map, that it wasn't that important, but I just would like to see a little bit more concentrated effort setting up on the OS. You remember that the blue team got the either second OS or the first OS that you ended up doing a nice job burning down with the SMG. Way to be staying calm, cool, and collected when under pressure and able to maintain accuracy at both short distances with the Magnum and long distances. That stick control of being able to move the Magnum just ever so slightly on those cross-map kills is something that's a huge benefit in Halo 5, so well done. Thanks everybody for watching. That's going to do it for this replay review. Next time I've got something pretty special. I've spoken with my buddy Luke the Notable. He was super nice and offered to do one of his own replay reviews and put it here on the channel. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. Stay tuned for next week when that goes down, because that guy's calm, cool, collective, solid insight into the game, and makes great tip content as well. In terms of housekeeping, very soon, probably in a week or two, I'm going to be talking about the next submission period for replay reviews, so that some of you guys who I know are craving to get a new replay in there have an opportunity to try and duke it out. As always, the directions for which are in the description below, but I'd just hold off for right now because that next submission period is very soon. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like, subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you guys next week with Luke the Notables. I think it is Spartan School, his replay breakdown. Thanks again, Fishy. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.